I'm with Matthew Lugg, soon to be president of CIHT. Could you just give a brief overview of your day job and a bit more about your career in general?
My job title at the moment is Director of Public Services at WSP. So my role is quite broad within the business, very much focused on the local government market, which is where my interest and background is. Do quite a lot of business development, but I think what keeps my interest particularly is around quite a bit of hands-on consultancy, using my forte around transformation and change management, organisational change. So I've been doing some work in Cornwall, in Cambridge, and other parts of the country, and more recently in the states of Jersey. So I do travel quite a bit in my new role. My background, although I'm currently working in the private sector, has been predominantly in the public sector. So over a 40-year career, 35 of it has been in the public sector. So, that's very much my forte. And I think my experience, and that is reflected in my presidential theme. So going back from the early days of my experience in road construction units, working on motorway design, and then moving in to local authorities, and I worked for 5 county councils, and I've always been very ambitious. So in those days, you really had to be prepared to move, to go to get promotion and work up the hierarchy within those organisations. And I think what was interesting in working in local government was the focus about the community, that you were very much involved in municipal engineering for people. So my focus is going to be very much around people. And I suppose, that's reflected also more recently when I got seconded from local government into central government at a time when austerity was probably at its most critical. And what I brought to central government was my knowledge about how things could be done more effectively and efficiently for local services. And I was at the forefront of a number of products. Some of the things around collaborative working, asset management, better procurement, looking at lean, all the things, the attributes that would help deliver better services for people at the end of the day. And then I suppose I'm quite unique in that respect, that I've worked in the public sector in central and local government, and in the private sector I've worked in contracting and consulting, because I initially worked for Michelle, who got bought by Kia. So I worked for a contracting business and now in WSP. So throughout my career, my focus has been about delivering services for people. And it seemed only natural to me when I thought about this, that it was about delivering those services for people, but thinking about how we could improve the service for people. And I think the people analogy also works quite well, not just in the focus of service delivery, but also thinking about the institution and in terms of its membership and how we can make sure that we deliver the services that are most appropriate for the membership.
What do you want to achieve in your year?
I think you've got to just recognise that you're only a president for a year. So, you can't change the world. But I think the important thing is that you're taking the baton, you're part of a relay team, and you need to continue to build on the good work of others. So it's interesting, we're at University College London tonight. We've heard Andreas, this is where he came from and his background. And it's good that he's set the bar quite high, using the athletics analogy, for me then to continue that work. And I suppose I'm somebody with a lot of energy and enthusiasm. I know a lot about the industry, so it's maximising all my that potential to try and help support the institution in that journey. The obvious thing is about membership, that we should never take for granted our membership, and we should make sure that those services are appropriate. So the work we're doing around looking at better systems and processes, it's badged as Project Alpha, but probably people don't understand what that is. But it's about creating a new customer relationship management system, improving the website, so we have a better intelligence about our membership, how we can target those members in terms of supporting what their needs are, and we can use that as a catalyst to help increase membership in that way. But we are quite ambitious as an institution as well, because any organisation that stands still is going to wither on the vine, and I think that ambition has got to be countered by the resources we have available, but nevertheless we are setting our stall out for that growth, and the areas that we're particularly interested in is around our international strategy. So there is enormous potential. We have a lot of members across the world, and yet there are no regions or branches within those parts of the world. We have some footprint, but we could do much more around that. And I think we've got to do that very carefully in terms of what we can achieve and when. And the other thing I think is we are a very highways dominated institution, highways and transportation. But what about that transportation bit? And there is an enormous potential there. But I think, again, it's got to be looked at very carefully in terms of what we can achieve and when. But you think about transportation in the wider sense, aviation, we've got harbours and ports, rail. These are all areas that we could potentially grow membership in a careful and considered way. But we should never forget our core membership and make sure in progressing in that way that we don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, and we make sure we continue to do all the great things that we do now.
Good luck and enjoy the year. Thank you
Yeah,
very much.
absolutely. I just want to say that for me, it's a very proud moment for me to take on that responsibility, and I just think I see it as a real privilege and also something that I want to give back, because the industry I work in has been brilliant for me as a career, and it's been very satisfying and fulfilling, and I just want to be an ambassador to say to people, if you want a good career, you want to do something that makes a difference, then you join the Chartered Institute of Highways and Transportation, but also look at a career in our industry.